What do you say there, everybody? Gio right back at you. NFL playoffs begin this weekend. So why not I take a time out from exclusive Rams talk and provide a NFL wildcard weekend playoff SETI analysis. How's that? Okay? So here's how I see the games. And by the way, I'm watching, like many of you, I'm watching the NFL for many, many years, decades. And I can't remember a wild card round, the opening round of the playoffs, the 4 games being incredibly competitive, at least statistically on paper. And it shows up in the lines. Basically, there's 3 out of the 4 games are pick'em games or less than a field goal in terms of the lines they set forward of how they anticipate the outcome coming. And of course, the last game is still less than a touchdown. The Eagles and the Bears. So let's do game by game, and perhaps you'll find it interesting, and we'll go from there, okay? All right, Saturday. And I got everything in my head. I'm not reading anything. I'd have to wear my glasses to read something, so I got it all down pat, my thoughts. So Saturday, you have the Colts playing the Texans. Very, very interesting game, divisional game. Here they go. They meet for the 3rd time this year. They split the 2 games. Very, very specific, intricate matchups. Both quarterbacks, great capability. Andrew Luck is just a very cerebral guy, great talent, pocket passer, commands the game, great field general. And the Colts are playing really, really well. They lost 5 out of their first 6, so they were 1-5, came on, deserving of a playoff berth. They should be really ready for this contest. Now, the Texans are home, division winners. Great personnel on the defensive line. Offensive line, choppy. They've allowed more sacks than any other team in the NFL, which is bizarre because Watson can move. Speaking of Watson, gutty, also cerebral. Not the pocket passer Andrew Luck is. He's actually been sacked more than any quarterback in the NFL, which is beyond comprehension because he can move. That's telling you that there's weak links on their offensive line of the Texans. So then you take the game down to coaching. Since they have game film from 2 games, you're looking at a real good rookie or new head coach on the Colts side, and a little more experience total staff-wise on the Texans side. So it's one of those toss-ups. I think it comes down to who protects the football, who manages the clock better. The team with less turnovers are going to win. So it's tough for me to say definitively who I like. Probably would side, if someone put me against the wall, to say the Colts are going to emerge victorious because they're just that much more balanced in the trenches. Even though the edge on the defensive side is probably going to go to the Texans, just from the ability to put pressure on a quarterback. But it's sort of contradicted because Andrew Luck doesn't get sacked. So interesting game, toss-up, team with less turnovers emerges victorious. The other game on Saturday is the Seabags of Seattle playing at Dallas. Now, in this game, they've played already in Seattle. Seattle won early in the season. They beat the Cowboys. But the Cowboys have been playing really, really well now for about 7 or 8 weeks. You could look it up. In every game, some major decisive efforts. They're running the ball well. They're getting great offensive line play. Ezekiel Elliott's playing, running as good as he ever has in his first few years in the NFL. I'll tell you the truth. The coaching, edge Seattle, as much as I'm not a Pete Carroll fan, they've been there before. Obviously, they have an edge at quarterback. But you know what? Dak is playing well. And that game that they played, the so-called meaningless game against the Giants, I think it had great meaning because they discovered some things. They played well. They hit their tight end. Obviously, the Cowboys have been a different team since they picked up Amari Cooper. So I think the Cowboys will hold serve and win. It's going to be a close game, but they'll win at home. All right? Again, turnovers be a big issue here, but not as tightly squeezed as how I see it in the Colts-Texan game. So I'm going with the Cowboys at home to emerge victorious. All right, so let's go to Sunday's games. Quality matchups again. You got the Ravens playing the Chargers again for the second time in 3 weeks. And I watched that game on Sunday Night Football. The Ravens absolutely mauled them. They outmuscled them. They put a lot of pressure on Phillip Rivers. And they ran the ball super effectively. But now with the game film, it doesn't always work out. When one team mauls the other team, they do the same thing again. So the Chargers are going to be in this game. They're loaded with good personnel offensively and defensively. Big edge at quarterback from an experience perspective. I almost feel bad for Phil Rivers because they could lose this game. They could be one and done. But then again, if he plays if he's on his game, all right, protects the football, because they really mauled him. He was rushed constantly. He was under constant duress when they played last time in L.A. So now they play in Baltimore. Tough place to come out of there with a win. Jackson's been playing great. I give the kid a lot of credit. He runs like the wind blows. So if I have to call the game, I got to give the game to the Ravens at home, only because they can make huge plays defensively. And even though I think the Chargers will adjust to how badly they were beaten the last time in their home stadium, you know what? And you know what? If Jackson doesn't protect the football, because he does have the propensity to put the ball on the ground, on the turf, and if he does that, Chargers are going to win this game. But if the Ravens play mistake-free football, because they know how to run the ball and they run it very effectively, it's not an aberration. Now it's going on for a number of weeks. This kid is playing well. He's really fast. Chargers can also run the ball. So I'm going with the home team, Bailey. They got the better kicker. Kicking is so imperative in these games. So I'm going with the edge with the Ravens at home and with their kicker. Okay, good guy. Doesn't miss. He's like career-wise, he's somewhere in the area of 88, 90%, regardless of the distance. So, all right. So the finale, you got Foles going into Chicago. I like the Bears here. That's why I think the Bears are going to end up playing the LA Rams, because the Bears in this situation, all right, yeah, the experience edge, they've been there before, goes with the Eagles, but their coach is really game planning fabulously. The Eagles have had a nice run here, but I just think it comes to an end. The weather's not going to be a factor. It's probably going to be just like 35, 40 degrees, not terribly cold. They both got to play in it, so it'll be nice conditions. I just think the Bears are the better football team. Not offensively, certainly defensively, but offensively they'll do just enough. And they'll put pressure on Foles. Now, Foles has been great. Good guy. I like his story. But it just doesn't make sense to me for the Eagles to go into Chicago after the season they had and to beat them. If they do, hey, my hat's off to them. But I don't think it's going to happen. So that creates some wonderful matchups in the divisional round. The Bears will go to L.A. They'll be a good 7-point underdog. Love the Rams in that game. That means the Cowboys, if they win, they're going to go to New Orleans. They've already beaten them there, so maybe that's a big ticket for you Cowboys fans. Should be another good game. I'm going to like the Cowboys that day. In the AFC, you're going to have the Ravens if they do win, and not knowing what's going on in the Texans and Colts games, but I like the Patriots, whomever they play to win and get to another championship game. They're just so disciplined, so well coached, and there's so much Brady to think that, they're not going to be one and done. They're going to win at home, and it depends. Are they going to? How's Kansas City going to hold up? Kansas City, you got to believe with the season they've had, Mahomes, though even though they're lacking a lot defensively, if the Colts play them, it's going to be tough. It all depends what happens in that Texans-Colts game. So we're going to have to say we're going to come back to that all right? But I'm pretty sure it's going to be Cowboys, Saints, Bears, and Rams, okay? And the Patriots are going to win their game. That's what I'm feeling confident about. All right, so listen, Happy New Year again. Thanks for sticking around and listening to me. If you have comments, put them there. You agree, disagree, don't matter. I love you, all right? So happy New Year. I'll speak to you real soon, you know that. Hopefully sooner than that. But seriously, if you have an opinion, share it with me, okay? I think I got a 10. No, I wasn't reading anything. It's all up here. Did my homework already. All right, I love you guys. Take care, brush your hair, and I'll see you next time. Let's go!